I know you like, hey, bro, what did they say? They call you a what? Oh, we about.
You briefly explain your background and experience dealing with the debt collectors and consumer rights.
Yeah, so I've been in a credit repair space dealing with the FDCPA, FCRA since 2004. So approximately
2004. Sheesh. Okay.
yeah.
Okay. So you've been dealing. What made you, I guess, get into like suing debt collectors, the whole credit repair space? You've been there since 2004. Well, what made you get into the credit repair space?
Well, I think in the United States public schooling system is not taught in the education system. So if you don't have any education on the subject, you're doomed to fail. And
Okay.
so right out of high school, you get the dibbling and dabbling, getting hurt, going to the hospital or taking credit cards, things of that nature. And so you don't have that education behind it. So like I say, if you don't have the education on it, you're doomed to fail. And so it's been basically the on the job training, right? so yeah, that's how I got started, man. It's on the job training. School of hard.
What got you started with debt collectors, though? Because I understand, your credit, but specifically with debt collectors and that nature.
So I looked at it like everybody's doing credit repair.
Okay.
So let's look at it from a legal standpoint. So some people put out PDFs about credit repair or restoring your credit. Some people put out videos. Some people put out courses, right? So some people actually do the paper disputing for the consumer, but all of it is credit repair. No matter how you slice and dice it, all of it is credit repair under the law. And so if you when a consumer has all these people talking about I can help you, right? So their taglines may seem the same. So I had to form a different tagline to get the consumer's attention, right?
Okay.
So my elevator pitch has always been, I had to niche down and say, hey, I sue debt collectors. So nobody is wondering exactly what I do. How can I help them? And so, say for an example, it's over 285, 82 million adults, right? In America. And so it's a credit repair marketing, but it's facts behind it. The FTC has put out information saying that 79% of the credit reports has inaccuracies on them, right? So that's true. So if we slice out the population of the American public, that's a big thing. And so essentially when people start not paying, let's just say for example, the credit card, right? They stop paying a credit card. And now the credit card company is just probably gonna contact them for at least 3 months and then they gonna just let it go wayside, right? So if you're looking at statistics, it takes a person 3 to 6 months to get back on their feet after they done fell down. So I just really carved out the niche of dealing with debt collectors because a lot of people is not advertising that they can help with the debt collection situation. And so I read a news article that said 4 out of 5 Americans will owe Midland Credit Management or has owed Midland Credit Management. So with them shocking numbers, man, I just carved out, just dealing with debt collectors in my business. But don't get me wrong, right? So people that's, we got people that's juniors, right? We got people that's seniors, the third or whatever the case may be. And so under the Fair Credit Reporting Act, I have helped people with them type of issues too. So I do help in the Fair Credit Reporting Act, but a lot of my day-to-day business is dealing with debt collectors under the FDCPA.
All right. Okay. So since you just dealing with, well, not just dealing, you are helping people with that specific part of the, I guess, industry. Like, what are the common violations of
Man.
Yeah, what are the common violations?
Calling a consumer at an inconvenient time, right? So an inconvenient time could be, let's say right now, right? We're on an interview. An inconvenient time is, the debt collector calling you while you're at an interview, right? Or doing whatever you're doing. You could be meditating, right? You could be studying. You could be reading. You can be at work, and the debt collector contacts you, and you tell a debt collector, of course you're recording the call. That's the most important thing, is to record the call. So, and then you don't have to tell the debt collector you're recording the call, but you just tell the debt collector, hey, this is Vance Dotson, right? Hey, you didn't pay this medical bill. You say, yeah. And so keep in mind, you're recording the call, and you just tell them, hey, I'm at work right now, and it's not a good time to talk. And so usually 2 of them phone calls adds up to an FDCPA violation.
So if they call you,
hold on, Dave. I gotta make sure that we're gonna clip this. So you telling me milling credit management? Everybody, not everybody. You said 1 out of 3, or did you say 1 out of 4?
4 out of 5.
4 out of 5 people are going to owe them. And then what you just did was, go ahead.
4 out of 5 Americans.
That's like 95%.
Yeah. Will owe milling credit or has owed milling credit.
Okay. So what you're walking through right now is safe to say that these are the exact steps of how you set milling credit management up for their, I guess, illegal practices.
Well, yeah, correction on that, right? So I've never set anybody up, right? So I'm not on the other end of the call, right? With milling, I'm not the employee of the milling calling the consumer when the consumer has told them that, hey, I'm at work and it's not a good time to talk. So what we do is just capture the information or the violation. But I like that question.
Oh, okay. All right. So just to be clear, all right. So most people, when they get called from debt collectors, is during the day, and a lot of people work during the day. So it's not even a stretch to even believe that most people are already doing something important. So it's never really a convenient time. You just showing them that, yo, your inconvenient time is the way you get paid.
Yes, sir.
Oh man, that's crazy.
Yes, sir.
Oh, that's gold. All right, go ahead, Dave. My
so
bad.
they call one time, and you tell them, and is it the second time, or is it like the first time?
Well, I like that question, and here's why I like that question, to give clarity. So we're talking about the FDCPA, and we're talking about Section C, right? Inconvenience. And so in Section C is you only need one occurrence, right? So in Section C, you have this clause, knew or should have known. So the first time you told them, right? So it takes out that doubt, that knew or should have known. It takes that out, right? That second time, no. Mm-mm.
You know what that sound like though? That sound like when I talk to my kids. I'm like, hey, you look at them, and then they do it again. Now you got to get in trouble because I gave you what you. Oh man, that's so easy.
Yeah.
And I want to say too, I think when the first time we had a conversation, you said something along that, because we had prioritized deletions before, but when you said, "Hey man, y'all throwing away money," that's when my antenna raised. Yeah. So I'm like, damn, bro. I'm like, dang, bro. There's a reason why they don't teach this in school. Yeah. It's because most people with collections look like us.
Yeah. Yeah. And so I want to really harp on that, right? So it really struck a nerve deep in my heart, because when you look at the American population, 11% is African American. But then when you do the research on bad credit, right?
Mm-hmm.
The African Americans are at the top of the poll. So, like I said, in the American system, we're really not taught, right? So, and the African American person or people culture, we're the number one consumer. So we're doing a lot of businesses, we're doing a lot of business transactions, and we're not even educated, right? So that's why I wanted to be on you guys as a channel and really educate the people and give them a way to get compensated from the everyday violation of the debt collector.
All right, so you pointed out one violation, right? What's
Yes.
like another violation
Yeah.
that consumers typically get violated that they don't even realize?
Well, let's say for an example,
Okay.
the text message, right? So it's common, that companies and people are reaching out, text message or email, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, so I like to keep things pretty simple. I mean, just text back, I refuse to pay, right? Four words, right? It's not complicated, right? So once they text you again or they email you again, or if they even call you after you say that, that's something that can get the consumer compensated.
Okay.
So,
Hey, hold on. So for the people out there who are 15 USC, blah blah, all those people now, like, what are we specifically talking about? Because when we tell people to do stuff, we like to show the law, and
Mhm.
I think we may even add a visual of what you just said because we did it before and it worked. And I was like, oh, they really keep texting. So what specific statute or law is that?
So we're talking about 15 USC 1692 CC.
Okay, so people can y'all can go look that up just
Mm,
so y'all know that we ain't just saying whatever.
yeah.
okay.
I
So,
think that statute. That, I think that's a good question, Mike.
yeah.
I think that statute is really misunderstood by the American public, right? So say for example, a lot of people contact me, and when I see the communication, right? They just having big bold letters. This is a cease and desist notice, and do all this type of stuff. That's too much, right? Just keep it real simple. I refuse to pay. That's it.
So that leads into my next question, really. So what are the steps a consumer can take? So the step would just be like, hey, I refuse to pay. That's the
Yep.
first step.
Yep. Well, yeah. So let's talk about the steps, right? Good question, Dave. Um, the steps is very simple. You get a pen. So I seen some of your videos. You offer people the pen, right? And that's a very smart thing to be giving people, right? So let me go back. That's a very important tool to give people, and here's why: you can solidify what you're conveying over, right? So, how do we do this? We literally get a piece of paper. And I see on your videos and your channel, you tell somebody to get a pen and pad, right? So
Right.
you're really giving them the steps. You just date it. You make it out to whoever you're sending it to, so to the debt collector, and then you just put on there the account number or the amount of the debt, and then you just simply say, "I refuse to pay the debt." And then you put your name below and then your address and stuff like that and zip code and city and state. And then you take a picture of that letter and then you send it to the debt collector certified.
So what typically happens when somebody sends this letter out?
Well, the debt collector is going to respond probably. That's the
Mhm.
violation. The debt collector is going to send you an email. That's the violation. The debt collector is probably going to text you. The debt collector is probably going to call you. That's the violation.
Oh, okay. Hold on. So I was under the impression that once you send that out, you're supposed to be looking for something in the mail. But what you said just now was once you say that, any form of communication is a violation at that point.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Right.
And
Too
so
easy.
I want to also add and put it on the back of the consumer's mind. Once you send that piece of communication, go pull your credit, go screenshot your Credit Karma, get a complete copy of your credit report. Because once you send that to the debt collector and they mark the information disputed, that's a violation under the FDCPA, because that's not a dispute. That's a refusal to pay. And so the notation becomes the violation under the FDCPA.
Hey, hold on, Vance. Man, the way you breaking it down, it's like a offense, like in basketball. And I'm like, okay, cool, he gonna hit this pin down, but if they take that away, this will happen. This person will be open. And I'm thinking in my head, I'm like, bro, you talking about like 2 or 3 specific laws. And when most people like to talk, they like to reach for like 8 different laws and do all this stuff. But I'm hearing what you're saying, and it sounds real simple. But I think it just is that simple. So if I send out this letter, that's just So I'm in my head, I'm like, okay, man, it can't be that easy. But I think I heard you said before that the FDCPA is for the least sophisticated consumer.
Yeah, that's right. So the FDCPA is written up for the least sophisticated consumer. So with that being said, it's very technical work that has to be done on the side of the consumer. You're totally 100% right on that.
Okay, so let's say I'm a consumer, I'm listening to this right now, and then I send off my letter, they come back, I'm scared. Like,
Yeah.
Do you have any type of like escort program or something that can help people through the process?
Oh yeah. So you can find me on Facebook, Instagram. I barely check my Twitter, things like that. So yeah, so get in contact with me, and then or Mike and Dave, right? And then we're going to serve you properly.
Okay. All right. I got some more questions though.
Yeah.
What are some of the potential outcomes, right, of suing a debt collector? Like, what can people expect?
Yeah. So typically,
if they do it.
yeah. So typically, the consumers look for the deletion of the debt, right? So the debt collector usually just deletes the debt. Then the debt collector is going to usually waive the debt. And what that means is you're going to legally not owe. You're going to get from under that debt. And then we're going to talk about the money, right? We talk about the money, putting the sugar on top, right? So we're going to look for the money, right? So I want to get it very clear. We're not getting rich, right? This is not hitting a lottery type thing. The law allows for 100 to $1,000 statutory damage.
Okay.
And then if you have actual damages, you can be compensated for your actual damages also.
All right, Vance, I'm kind of messy, so I want to talk about hitting the lottery, but we gonna add that part first. Let's not talk about hitting the lottery, but let's talk about what hitting the lottery sounds like, because I think you had a big case that you were I don't know, I ain't want to put words in your mouth, but maybe advising somebody or telling them, like, because I know you like, hey bro, what did they say? They call you a what? Oh, we about to get paid. So can you speak on something like that happening?
Yeah. So the case you're referring to is a good friend of mine, Alan Jones. The case the case went to trial for $1.5 million, right? And so it's just the simple steps that we went over in the beginning. Record the phone call. And that's what I told him to do. And so it just happens to be the debt collector was on the recording saying, right? And so we pushed it to trial. $1.5 million was the verdict.
Man, look, I know of people who, like, it's like when a debt collector is unprofessional like that, like from where I'm from, it is kind of common, but it ain't like widespread. So I think this is the best time to understand like your rights and the steps you put forth. Like no matter what you do, if you record that call, you got somebody that you can reach out to in advance.
Oh yeah,
bro. Hey, don't text messages be wild, bro. And the emails, they be like, "Oh, you can't pay your bills," and they be saying all type of wild stuff, man. I didn't know.
I like it, but just exactly what you said, right? Oh, you can't pay your bills, but after you told them you refuse to pay, and they say that, I want to talk to that person.
A couple mil, yeah. If they call you the N-word, you know what I'm saying? You good.
Shit.
But